Well, hello and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja. And right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
Soon to be, soon I'll be Max Headroom.
That'd be sweet. Well, you know, if we're going to talk about AI stuff, you know, I'd totally be okay if we can get Max Headroom.
Or we could be the Max Headroom and Ronald Reagan of the 80s throwback cafe from Back to the Future 2.
With, who is the other guy? Ayatollah or something?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Well, they had a fight. They had a little virtual fight, AI fight.
If it only just stayed that way.
Pepsi
right?
Perfect. Yeah, one day when we have our Pepsi Perfects. Yum yum yum.
Just give me something without any sugar in it.
That's what Tab is for. Tab and Pepsi Zero. Pepsi Zero has no sugar. It's all aspartame.
The lady friend.
Aspartame.
We were watching something. I think it was Gremlins 2 during the holiday season there. And very subtle product placement. It wasn't very subtle, but it was subtle, you know, for the 80s. But there was a can of Tab placed directly in the center of a screen. And I was like, oh, look at that, Tab. And she's like, I've seen that in a couple movies, but I'm not sure what it was. I was like, oh, you don't need to worry. It's a sugar-free drink. It was horrible. Great commercials, though.
They still make it. You should buy her one.
What?
They still make Tab.
No, they don't.
I had a Tab like a few years ago, yeah.
I have to call the shenanigans. Really?
I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna look it up right now while you talk. But
because I think it was part of the Shasta company. And
Tab. Yeah, here it is. Tab.
What?
You can buy a can. Oh well, I guess maybe not. Well, there's a 12-pack for $6, so it makes me think that, you know, they just sell them with RC and Diet Right and all that stuff. But
Diet Right. Oh God.
But yeah, so Tab still exists.
That's
so if
insane.
you really want to get
that's insane to me.
A 12-pack of Tab, it's out there.
All right. Well, you know, maybe so. I mean, I'd rather have a fucking sixer of Jolt myself, but
right, Jolt. Or what was the one that Savannah was all into? It wasn't Jolt. It was the green one.
Surge. Yeah, there you go. Get yourself a can of Surge. Well, they re-released it, remember?
They did for a while. They used to have it in Taco Bell or something like that. I don't remember. They had it in restaurants where you could get yourself a delicious, frothy, just 42-ounce cup of Surge. So you too can be awake for 48 hours.
Yeah, it was energy drinks before they were, you know, all Red Bull and Monster. You can get yourself a cola that, when you drank it, made your teeth gritty.
Well, yeah, because it was destroying it. Like, yeah, it was eating away at the enamel of your teeth while you were drinking it.
Like, if you could pour a fucking 2 liter of Coke on a blood spill on the road, imagine what you could do with a 2 liter of Jolt. You probably wouldn't even need a 2 liter. You probably just use like a cup of Jolt and, you know, wipe up a puddle of blood.
What is with this Coke and blood? What is that supposed to do?
I don't know. I saw it one time on a fucking website. They say that's how they clean.
I thought this was like a.
I don't know, man.
Oh, that's how you clean it. Okay.
Yeah, how you clean up the road. Why you need to clean up the road is beyond
Mentos.
Me, you know.
That was a Mentos and Diet Coke.
No, that's if you have to do it in a hurry.
No.
Like, the road's been closed for hours. We need to clean this up. Who's got some Mentos? We can get this done in a minute.
Fresh. I haven't seen a Mentos in a while, actually. That's the one I don't know if they still make. I'm assuming they do because I still see videos of people dropping Mentos and Diet Coke.
Sure, but how old are those videos?
Proven.
You know, I mean,
Oh, that's true.
there's a lot of people that repost videos on YouTube.
Maybe it is the fresh maker though. So,
if you're into, having a nice sweet candy coating, and then all of a sudden it goes away and it just hits you in the fucking mouth with freshness, peppermint freshness.
By the way, howdy to you too, Ginger. Sorry I missed that, but yes, hello, Ginger. How's it going? Yes, you want to get hit with minty freshness and sugary goodness all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have it all at once instead of getting through one layer and then just getting blasted with the inner goodness, like a gusher. Remember the gushers back in the day?
I think they still make gushers. Gushers are still a thing. There was a candy that 7-Up used to make that was hard candy in the outside, 7-Up in the middle. That was interesting. That wasn't great.
I kind of remember that. Kinda.
Yeah. It was a thing. It was a thing.
I mean, nostalgia is always, a great place to go, especially when you don't have a job to go to and you need to gotta fill up part of your brain with something while you search for a job. And that
what have you been filling your brain with?
That this week has been a couple of things, but
okay.
One, so before the Transformers as we knew them as 80s kids were Transformers, they were a Japanese toy from the company called Takara, which we all know is Takara Tommy nowadays. They had a couple toy lines called Diaclone and Diachrone, which was part of Diaclone. And so under the Diaclone moniker, they had Micro Change and all these different Transformers. We didn't know they weren't Transformers at the time. So I watched a whole 20-30 minute compilation video of all these old 80s Diaclone toy commercials, which were, like I said, all the Transformers we grew up with, some with different colors. The Japanese toys commercials were awesome. They had pyrotechnics. There was not even stop motion. Some of it's stop motion, but some of it's just if it's a flying robot of some sort, there's fishing line on some sort of a track. So it looks like it's flying through the air smoothly. You can see the string and everything, but it doesn't matter. I don't know. And then also part of it was after the Transformers, after Hasbro bought or licensed the toys from Takara and changed them into the Transformers. Transformers was then released in Japan. So some of the American Transformers commercials were ported over to Japan and then overdubbed. Well, if you remember old Transformers commercials in the U.S., there was always a kid somewhere in the commercial that would look right at the camera and mouth out "robots in disguise," because that was the catchphrase. Well, this commercial gets shown in Japan, and it's got a Japanese voice overdub, and it just didn't work. But it was hilarious because I'm like, we make fun. Whatever. We watch a movie and the lip flap doesn't match with the overdub, and then we all laugh about it. Ha 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 ha. Goes the other way too. All these American kids speaking English, and the lip flap isn't matching to the Japanese words that are being overdubbed. I found it funny that way. But seeing those old commercials, like I said, with pyrotechnics and the almost robotic versions of the toy, not they are robots, but in a sense of in
disguise,
well, but the production value of these commercials, though low budget, higher budget than our commercials were, where it's just a bunch of kids playing with the toys. These are like changing on their own, transforming on their own. Dink dink.
Yeah, but I've seen Japanese commercials and they are different. There was, but before I want to talk a little bit now about Japanese commercials. There's one that if anyone listening to this before, now and after, I hope they've heard of this or seen it. But anyway, so Diaclone, they have one robot that looks a lot like a certain Optimus Prime, called, I guess, DA65 Battle Convoy VMAX, which very Japanese in its name, very Japanese.
Sure.
You want to buy this toy? You want to buy this toy?
I think I know which one you're talking about. I don't want that toy, but I know which one you're talking about.
Well, it's not that bad. It's only $800 to buy this toy. That's it. 800 smackaroos for this ripoff of Optimus Prime, and then the ripoff of oh my god, I can never remember the radio, the Autobot radio one. Blaster. So the knockoff Blaster from the Diaclones is only $500.
Yeah, but here's the thing about the Japanese version of Blaster. It's a working radio.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
The Soundwave or Cassette Man, as he was known, wasn't ever a working radio, but Blaster was. So the very first version of Blaster was a working radio.
Had a dial and everything. Yeah.
The one there, I think batteries went in the leg.
One of the legs.
And then the other leg had the electronics in it.
Speaker and the yeah. But anyway, yeah. So there you go. But
and it's not really it's not a knockoff. It's the original version. And then the original, Hasbro licensed all of that stuff. You gifted me at Christmas a Transformers like collector's type book that I had on some list.
I thought it was really cool.
It is really cool. And what's great about it is that there's like the beginning of each year or chapter, there's a nice, few paragraphs, and that's it. Ooh. It's just all pictures. I didn't see it. And that's it. Just pictures of boxes, pictures of the toys, pictures of variants.
Well, it's a collector's book, isn't it? That's what it is. Mostly it's a collector's. Yeah.
But there's not a lot of there's not a lot of words throughout it. I mean, there's little descriptions of every picture, but there's not like a paragraph you have to read on every page and then, little descriptions of the pictures. No, it's just all pictures. It's a great coffee. It's a, what do they call that? A coffee table book?
Yeah, it's a coffee book.
Yeah, it's great for that. Yeah. And it's I mean, all it does is fuel my want to just keep collecting, even though like I'm not in the position to do it right now. It's just like the same thing. It's been around since I was a kid. If I couldn't own the toys, having the service merchandise catalog or the Sears catalog, Christmas catalog,
service merchandise.
Yeah, I know, right? Or like the media play, something like that. So one of those old catalog or Christmas time catalog type of things they put out would have really nice high detailed pictures of G.I. Joe and Transformers or Thundercats or whatever. That was the next best thing to owning those Transformers or those toys, is having really high quality pictures. And this is the book you got me is a newer version of a book I had from years ago that didn't have some of the newest stuff that this book does. Oh, like this book that you got me covers everything up through the 2000s, where the book I have only covers G1.
Okay. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, and just, it's I don't know. There's that, like I said, it feels that nostalgia part. And I was cleaning my closet out. It's right over here.
Yes.
And, and everybody on the internet's like, where? On the audio,
Here.
I mean, over here. Just picture on your left-hand side, the closet.
Yes.
I was going through there, getting rid of some stuff, and I have a little section that just has Transformers in boxes. And one of them was on their side, and I was like, what the hell is that? So I grab it and I pull it off the shelf, and it's part of a combiner set. It's a 1 of 3 of a combiner set. But I didn't even know I had even one of the 3. I was like, oh, look at that. When the hell did I get this? And now all I want to do is get the other 2 so I can make a camera. Yeah. So it combines to make a camera.
A working camera?
No.
Oh. Boo.
But it's 3 identical Transformers. You just buy 3 of the same thing, and you combine all 3 of them
and it
to
turns
make
into a thing.
Yeah, well, they're designed to turn into a camera if you buy all 3 of them.
Okay.
Then there is a variant of that it's the same 3 robots, but they look more like a real camera.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the one I have is the more, robotic Cybertronian version of a camera, I guess.
Of course, yeah.
So now I'm like, well, shit, now I got to get the other 2. When did I buy this one?
That collector's itch, man. You're gonna collect forever. You're gonna need display cases.
One day.
I
mean,
So
that's
display cases.
That's what crystal cases. My buddy, he the guy I kind of worked for through my teen years. He was a jeweler, and he would buy crystal cases, like for people to display little crystal things or china things, and he would just put all kinds of stuff into them. Like, this is not what this is for, man. He's like, yeah, but it looks good in here, doesn't it? Like
Exactly.
figures.
It has the lighting inside.
Yeah, figures or things that shit didn't even match. Like, he'd have one shelf of like model cars, like Hot Wheels or something, and then the next shelf would be, whatever, little crystal figures or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Right. It's the only way we're gonna stop blurring our background is when we have a display case of actual stuff in the background.
I mean, a buddy of ours had the wall of pop figures. That was his.
Still does.
I think it still is his background. I haven't tuned in, admittedly.
Yeah, I saw a still of the show that he does on occasion, and yeah, the background is still there of just ceiling to floor pop figures.
Yeah, I mean,
in boxes.
And he has no reason to blur because he's got a thing to display. If I had a thing to display, I would too. I'd have to turn my whole setup I'd have to do 180 degrees, which would really not make sense to this room, having a desk out in the middle of the room just so I can have a wall behind me.
Yeah. It's not easy. I think having had guests on Super Geeked Up has made me very jealous of like the setups that some people have, because I'd say 50% have a living room, like they just record in their living room. They just have a camera and they just record in their living room. But then there's some who have like an arcade, like a row of arcade cabinets in their background, or they have like, maps of different fantasy worlds in their like they just like they really
they got
back up there
a big grass wall that says Netflix and chill.
Who has that?
Nobody.
Who's that?
I don't know. Probably somebody out there does.
Yeah, no. I'm sure. Oh yeah, there's somebody out there who has that as a background for sure. But yeah, that's what we need. It's just a fake wall, cardboard wall, or those separators, right? And then we just hang stuff in the back. Used to have pictures of Deadpool in your background.
Yeah, and well, now they're in the foreground that nobody can see. Because now I'm looking at them instead of them being behind me. And we blur our screens. So even if
And we blur our screens. That's true.
So it doesn't really matter.
One day when we
One
have
day.
working green screens, it won't matter. We'll just have a working green screen behind us, and
When I have
us on the moon or something.
when I have another computer that is capable of supporting a stream, then I can make that the workhorse and not make this computer do everything. Then yeah.
A lot of people have 2 computer setups.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's kind of. I mean, I have a second computer, but it can't handle anything. It barely handles getting on the internet. So that's not an option right now. And I looked at, just because I was curious, not because I'm in any financial fucking position to do so, but just kind of curious.
Right.
What's a gaming pre setup, like a pre-bought setup? What's that costing like these days? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's some good stuff out there, but if you want to, future-proof a pre-bought gaming rig, man, that's where they get you. Like, we get you set up. We get you the nicest, the newest, the one step under the newest graphics card and get you all the stuff. But, if you spend another, $500 or so, you can get this better graphics card. But if you get the best one, now you got to change your fan setup. So, you're going to change the fans. That's going to cost you another $200. And then, your $2,000 pre-built build goes up to $3,500. You're like, what the hell?
I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is that you need, I don't know.
What I need to do is probably turn this off and go scrounge up $20 and go get a lottery ticket before they draw tonight, because it's like in the umpteen millions of dollars.
Well, Rugged runs a 6-year-old graphics card and an almost decade-old CPU. So, first off, I'm amazed it's still running. Most of the time, that stuff doesn't run. Most of that stuff usually they peter out at some point. I regularly update at least every 5 years, because you kind of have to. Stuff starts degrading, and you'll lose stuff. Unless you don't care, then obviously run it to the ground.
It's too afraid of them to stop it.
Well, we'd all be afraid of you.
It's the power of the kilt.
Yeah,
the power of the kilt compels the computer to keep running.
Yeah. Besides, you have to get other things too. You have to get a sim pit. You have to get a VR. You have to get. You have all this stuff needs to get still.
Which all of this kind of leads to that. One of the other things that I've been throwing on in the background while I try to figure out my life is I found I guess they're like a military sim group on the YouTubes, and they all, I'm guessing, have some pretty crazy realistic setups at home, VR setups or whatnot, and they fly these recreations of actual missions, or they make things up, because it's, at the end of the day, it's a video game. And I was like, that kind of sparked that little thing in my brain from back in the late 90s, when Thrustmaster first came to be, and I went out and got me a little fight stick so I can play the little F-16, flight sim thing that I had for DOS way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking DOS game. So, I mean, so I was like, what? Again, not in any financial position to do so, but let's just kind of look and see what's out there, in case I want to, maybe one day be like, what, let's get into this. And there are some very, very cheap options. I mean, if you want to just, do something. But here's the thing, Francis. Okay. In the 10 plus years you've known me, have I ever done anything half-assed? I mean, the execution might be half-assed, but like
Right.
the equipment that I bring to the thing is never half-assed.
If that's so, Rugged has flight controllers for the PlayStation. I'm curious if they have one for. I mean, there's
They do.
probably
There's an
halfway for
Xbox.
the Xbox.
There is one. The Thrustmaster makes
No.
like a total entry level sort of thing for the Microsoft Flight Sim. I don't know what else you would use it for. Maybe Ace Combat, maybe. But the point I was trying to make is that like if I'm gonna invest in something, I always try to get the top tier
That's
thing.
you did it. Yeah, that's what you do with podcasting. So it makes sense.
All the podcasting stuff that I got, I bought well above my
Price range.
need and need and ability. I bought way above my need and ability because
You only need a mic.
you only need a mic. You only need to go out. I mean, honestly, you can go out and get you a snowball or a Yeti. Well, it's the same thing. So Yeti makes
Same
a
company,
snowball.
but different things.
Oh, they're two different ones?
things. But same
Okay.
company. Yeah.
You can go buy either one of those and be fucking successful. You totally can.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It goes, it records right into some software that you record into, and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want that. I wanted to go above because this is an investment. If I'm going to go ahead and spend my, what was that check we got when COVID started? What was that thing called?
Oh, you're
The succubus,
yeah. The stimulus check.
Stimulus. Like I'm working. My job's not going anywhere unless they just decide to fucking the people that own it decide to be done with it. My job's not going anywhere, so I have some extra money to spend. So might as well get the things that I'm going to grow into. And you can argue, and I'll even argue, I haven't even used all the bits and pieces that come with this recording device that I'm using. There's things that we haven't even touched yet, mostly because we're in two different states.
Sure. I mean, if a lot of the stuff. I mean, look, you have a lot of stuff that streamers use. So, like, if you were a streamer, I think a lot of that stuff is used by them. I see more and more streamers like getting stuff that you've had for a while already. It's like, I'm getting a Steam Deck for the first time ever. I'm like, yeah, Steam Deck. Okay, I sure. Or, oh, it's the Roadmaster or the Roadcaster. Oh, I've never had a Roadcaster. And yeah, okay. I know someone who's had the Roadcaster for years. It's not that. It's like it's all old hat. Nothing surprises me when these really established streamers are like, I'm getting all this equipment. I'm like, Josh already got that. Like in my head, I'm like, Josh already got that. Like the little box, the little it's not a Steam Deck. It's the other one, the one where it's like a companion piece to the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different version of a Steam Deck, but I know what you're talking about. It's just it is a Steam Deck, but it's like, version whatever.
Whatever, yeah. But it's just like, oh, look at all this stuff. I'm like, oh, man. I know someone who has all this. So I'm like, oh. Back in my head, I'm like, Josh should just be a streamer because that's all the streamers get. You have literally a streamer, except for like the thing on the wall that streamers have. They have like these weird wall panels that light up different colors, depending on your mood or whatever. That's the only thing I think you're missing are like the wall panels. Oh, and you don't have a gamer chair. You have like an office chair, right?
Yeah.
So you need to get a gamer chair with like the racing pad, everything.
Put the seat. Get some seat belts. Put on a 6-point harness to podcast.
One with a seatbelt, one with that comes with a flight helmet, just that. But it's kind of funny to be like, yeah, you're set, like you're ready for any situation that comes up, which is like, oh, okay.
And I mean, it's just nice to Yeah, my philosophy is if you're gonna invest in something, get the best that you can. Not even like within your budgetary thing. Like sometimes you gotta fucking break the bank to scratch that itch or whatever the fuck. I'm not you. I'm not telling you how to spend your money.
Right.
But there on the Facebooks, there's several groups out there that you can join if you wanted to, and there's one for Hondas, for the Civics, and somebody posted on there where I see everybody has these, upgraded headlights and this and that, and I have these standard halogen bulbs. What's a good cheap option out there so I can upgrade? And there was just something about seeing the word cheap in his little sentence that I was just like, I don't even realize it, but I'm typing a response. Go ahead.
How about affordable? And by the way, rugged, you're right. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So
Exactly.
That's a good philosophy. But what if they said, I need an affordable solution? Would that have
If they
much as cheap?
If they had said what's an affordable thing out there, I would have kept scrolling.
Okay.
Because that word doesn't fucking irk me.
But cheap does.
But why go out and spend something just so you can have it? Just so you can replace what you just got.
Like everybody. That's everything, though.
That's a lot of
That's
things.
everybody.
That's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. I mean, the majority of people out there replace their phone every 2 years, and there's absolutely no reason outside of the new shiny thing to replace the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some circumstances where there are some new shit, new tech, whatever the fuck, that if you don't have the newest phone, you ain't gonna have it. And if you want it, you're gonna have to scratch that itch. But we all just say, fuck it, get a new phone every 2 years, 3 years, whatever. We don't really think about it. I had a point. I lost it.
It's all right. You don't. Your point is that people buy stuff, inexpensive things, cheap things, and that's why the word cheap makes you want to throw things at other people.
I told this guy, like I said, before I even realized I was typing a response. There I am typing, and I don't respond to anything, anywhere. I try not to anyway. And I was just like, hey, dude, instead of being cheap and having to replace your cheap parts with other cheap parts, save your money and just get quality so you only have to buy it once. Yeah, the thing's gonna eventually fucking crap out on you because that's the cycle of everything. But don't you want those intervals between your shit not working to be great? Or vast? Or a long time between?
Well, it is why Rugged agrees with you and says that that's why he runs an old computer, and I mean, if it still works, why replace it? So
if what you have works for what you need it to do, then there's absolutely no reason to go on and get something else.
Sure.
Outside of want. Now, there are times where need overcomes want. You may not want to replace XYZ, but if you want to have the same features or whatever, you want the option for the car to jerk you off while you're on the freeway, whatever, like you're going to have to spend the extra money, or you're going to have to spend money to get that option, or you have to find somebody to, that's willing to jerk you off while you're driving on the freeway, whatever.
And as Rickett says, plus they don't make things like they used to.
I mean, that's true.
Look, I don't know. I mean, sure.
You can go to Temu, and you can buy a 50 terabyte hard drive for $25.
Right.
and then get home and realize that it's a fucking 64 megabyte the mini micro SD inside of an SSD shell that's super glued to shit inside of a case. That's what you get for being cheap. Seriously,
okay, sure.
Seriously.
I'm with you.
I mean, how much? I mean, I have a 4 terabyte physical hard drive. What do you call it? A spinny hard drive. What do you call that? Physical?
A disk drive.
Yeah.
Hard drive. Just a regular hard drive, yeah.
There's
a solid state drive, and then there's just...
Right, it's not solid state. It's spinny. 4 terabyte drive for like $60 or $80.
Sure.
And I thought that was even sus. But it's real. It works. Now, if I go to Temu or something like that and find anything higher than that for less money, give me a fucking break.
Right, sure.
So go ahead, go buy those cheap headlight bulbs from AliExpress and put them into your car, and your car, the lights overvolt your car and fry your ECU. Well, now you got to spend $800 to replace your ECU because you wanted to be cheap.
Okay, then.
It's just, I don't know, man. Like, I just think if you're going to buy something, buy the best you can.
Right.
Otherwise, just buy a fucking coffee table book with really cool pictures in it.
Well, that works too. I don't think there's anything better. You can't get better than that book.
You really can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to have a Fortress Maximus sitting here. That'd be awesome. But I'm never going to be able to afford it for Fortress Maximus. But he looks really good in the book.
See, Rugged even upgraded his computer to 2.4 to 4 terabyte drives for over $300 because he knows that they are legit and will last. So yeah.
Yeah. So
right.
His computer might end up being, 15 years old with tons of storage, and still run because it works for what he's using it for.
Well, that's why people still buy name brand versus like some random brand they've never heard of before, right? Like there's all these new TVs that are coming out, like Hisense and all that stuff.
They've been around for a little bit, but
Hisense has now for a while now. But I mean,
when you first saw
there's
them,
a lot of
like, what the fuck?
Right. Well, for a while, yeah. For a while there was certain, but then they get better because you have to. Otherwise, no one will get your stuff. No one will buy your things. So yeah, and they get more expensive as time passes because they have to use better things to make it work. So I get it. When it comes to especially a hobby that you picked up and really loved doing really early on, it makes sense that you wanted to get stuff that was like the best. Even though you never did get the Shure microphone, which is like
no.
You did technically fail, quote unquote, fail on that one because you didn't get the microphone every podcast uses. We use the other microphone podcast uses.
I got the second best microphone.
I was gonna say, I've seen enough podcasts using our mics that I'm like, oh yeah, okay, fine. Everyone got our mics too.
And that was let's pull the fucking curtain back a smidgen bit there. We bought these microphones almost fucking on the same day.
You did, and we were very hipster about it because we did it before it became cool to have this mic. I'm not gonna lie, we got this way before I started seeing other people use it. I'm like, oh, I guess we got a good mic then.
But again, that came down to, okay, everybody knows if you get into to podcasting or voice work of any kind, there's only a handful of mics out there that everybody uses. And it's very easy to figure out the short fucking list of what those, 5 microphones are. And this is the second most popular microphone that's out there.
And at some point it's going to be dead last when AI takes over for all voices. So it doesn't really matter anyway. Because we'll have Skynet doing all the voiceover stuff. This podcast, like I said in the very beginning of the show, this podcast eventually is just going to be two robotic heads with our voices going, "Hey, Josh, how are you doing?" You know, just that AI voice just hanging out with us. And, you know, now that everyone's mad because CES is going on right now, which I'm sad because I haven't been keeping up on CES. All the new fancy technology is like being shown off right now.
Is that what they do? The it's all technology. They do cars there too, right?
They do. It's a consumer electronics show, and they showed off the car that you can drive with a PlayStation controller. There's a car.
Have we not learned our fucking lesson about fucking using gaming controllers to control fucking real things?
It's a concept car. It's not a real car you can buy. But they were showing off.
Why don't we go to CES?
It's in LA. It's in Vegas.
Vegas.
It's in Vegas. CES is in Vegas, I think.
Why haven't we gone?
I don't know. Because we're not journalists. We don't talk about tech, really.
Okay, but why haven't we gone anyway? We're not fucking journalists. We go to Comic-Cons.
we can always apply to go to CES. But yeah, like CES is happening right now. They're showing off the new, obviously the new TVs, that car that I mentioned, and SAG-AFTRA just signed a deal with an AI company to go ahead and use AI voices for, I think, specifically video games. I think it's AI video games only, and it's catching on like wildfire, especially on Twitter, where people are pissed.
I mean, we're not professionals. We get paid every once in a while. It's like we're semi-professional voice people,
right? We're freelance. We're
freelance. Yeah. We don't belong to any fucking house. I just made a fucking Harry Potter reference. I've never even seen that movie. I think, I mean, not that I don't get a shit ton of fucking work anymore when it comes to voice stuff. And, like once or twice a year, something pops up. I would hate to lose those once or twice opportunities. Or I would hate to go into and be like, okay, we need you to read this paragraph and we're going to AI your voice from there. Be like, no. I mean, I like the money you're showing me right now, but can't I just say the shit you want said? Wouldn't that be easier?
Apparently not. Apparently, at least in video games for now, it'll just be, Skynet talking to you when you do a mission or something.
And it's something that we were talking about before we hit record, and I can see it from both sides. Let's take GTA, since we were talking about that before.
Hit me.
There's, especially if they're gonna back up what they're boasting with GTA 6, with all this AI, and just crowds and people and everything.
Right.
Are you gonna go out and hire that many people? Let's say 30 people to do a shit ton of voices for the game, or are you gonna hire 10 people and do variants of their voices with AI? And I don't know. In GTA 5, like Cat Williams is in there. There's another hot name out there.
Is it real? Is he really?
Yeah, you can go to a comedy club and sit in the comedy club, and Cat Williams is up on stage telling jokes.
Oh, I only ever went to the strip club, so go on.
Well, I mean, I've been known to have some hot coffee every once in a while.
Oh wow, that's a pull.
But yeah, and I think there's a couple other comedians, but Cat Williams is one of the comedians that you can go watch.
That's cool.
And it's all jokes he wrote, or Rockstar. I don't think Rockstar wrote anything for him, but that would suck if that was then an AI thing.
Right. Yeah.
where it wasn't insert random celebrity, doing the voice. So like I said, if it was you're going to the comedy theater to see quote unquote Cat Williams, and it's an AI voice doing it, that would suck. As opposed to the actual person doing it. The other side of that is all the AI you interact with in the game. We're sticking to keep your head in GTA 5 for now. Like,
Sure.
all those people on the beaches or all the people on the streets or what have you. Would it hurt for them to be an AI voice where they don't have speaking lines? They just react to what's happening around them or react. I don't know. It's a slippery slope.
Look, I mean, Rugged is right. Nipples, right? Nipples, sure. No, I'm with you.
Is that a call for nipples or are we just saying random body parts?
They were just saying random body
feet.
parts.
I wouldn't have
Feet. Yeah.
It's probably the only time you'll ever hear me say that.
Phalanges. No, I said to you before the show, I'm like, what are they supposed to do? Like, how do you stop it? You could like say, well, no, don't do AI shouldn't be a thing. But it's not like it's not like people are gonna be like, oh well, I guess we're just never gonna work on AI again, and we'll just put it over here and forget it exists.
Again, we've already been foretold this in Terminator 2.
Right. Exactly. And at some point, AI is going to be smart enough to make itself. So, right? It'll Skynet itself at some point. But you can't ignore it. It's here. It exists. It's a thing, right? AI is a thing, and people are like, it'll never replicate human stuff. And these companies are like, okay, I bet. And then they make a thing that can replicate human stuff.
Probably some young prick in the office too that actually stops and goes, bet.
Yeah.
I hate that fucking thing.
Yeah.
There's an app on your phone for your AI girlfriend. And if you want to pay money into the fucking app, the fucking thing will send you nudies of your AI girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't understand that, but okay. Like,
but I do. I mean, look, unlike most guys are not. I can't even talk about it because I should probably protect kayfabe to some degree. But most guys have to work for their relationships, while some are just handed to them in a silver platter. Anyway,
fucking
so
chick magnet, is my middle name.
If you knew the stories, audience, you would agree with me and just like, well, Josh is the definition of a low effort like dating guy because women come to him. He doesn't have to go to them. He's like a literal chick magnet. It's kind of annoying. But other guys can't. There's a dating crisis right now. I can't believe we're gonna talk about this, but there's a dating crisis right now. A bunch of men are single, right? In history, like there's like 50-something% of men aged. I'm just not gonna give up random statistics I don't remember, but there's like a
why not, dude? That's what the internet's for.
That's true. But there's a percentage of men though not dating, and women have like the pick of the litter, right? So women are just picking the top dudes, and us average-looking guys, us average dudes who don't make six figures, because that's kind of like the deal, right? The 6'6", 6 foot, six figures, 6 foot, six figures, and six pack, I think it was, or 6 inches, I forget which. But that's the expectation in the dating world. So a lot of dudes are single because women are just supposedly a lot more picky and a lot more like FOMO about dating because they can just like, oh, there's a guy over here. I'd rather go with this guy over here than with you because who knows, this could be better. Whatever. Anyway, so AI dating, AI girlfriends, I hate to say, make a lot of sense for a bunch of dudes who are like, there's no women who care. Like, there's no women. And I want, somebody on, I wish I could remember the dude's name. I was like, dudes have men innately want to like be a protector and like a provider, and when they don't have anyone to do that with, they get very antsy and very kind of like uncomfortable because that's kind of ingrained in them evolutionarily wise, right? Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And when they don't have that and an AI girlfriend comes along, they're like, well, close enough. And they go with the AI girlfriend. What does Rugged say?
Rugged says females now have the unrealistic goal for what then can date. What they can date?
They can date, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So AI girlfriend, you're like, oh, AI girlfriend, that's weird. I think that's the future. I think AI girlfriends for a lot of dudes is the future.
When we get to the point of shit, I can't make the fucking joke. Damn it. Oh, when we get to the point where we can have a Lucy Lou bot, I'll be on board then.
Oh yeah, but they will, right? Like they'll.
When we get to that point, though, that's when I'll jump on board.
Right. That's how celebrities will make their money.
We're still at the fucking blow up doll level right now. Like, like obtainable. Like they got the real doll, but who's got $5,000? $3,000. I don't know how much they cost.
AI girlfriend, she says, touching will cost you more. It will, right? Because you're gonna have to get well, VR is gonna be so realistic now. VR is gonna be like, oh, tingles. It's gonna be a bodysuit. Warner Brothers, oh God, they're working with a company to make. Do you know the movie Ready Player One?
I'm aware of it. I've never seen it, but I'm aware it's a book first and then a movie.
Yes, I read the book. I watched the movie. And Rugged says it's easier to date the AI that takes you for you. That's true. They're much more agreeable. But the Warner Brothers, who owns Ready Player One, are like working with a company to make this like a Ready Player One world where you wear a suit, you're in the AI, you're in the virtual world, you touch stuff, you feel things. They're already kind of there. So like that's the next step. So our population's going to drop to zero in like the next 1,000 years. Like it's just going to be gone.
But I mean, it might be like that at first. Well, not at first, but like you're going to have to go buy the upgrade pack, where there's going to be different booty sizes and different breast sizes or different schlong sizes, like, and you're going to have to stand in line at the store to fucking buy these because they're only going to be available, in store.
Online.
No.
You just buy it online.
No, you're the company making these things. You make people come to fucking brick and mortar stores so you can make fun of them. No.
Oh, hold on. I need to allow a comment here.
Okay.
There you
go. Sex toys that can be controlled along with the video. Perverts will always lead the way. I mean, that's why we have Blu-ray and not HD DVD. That's why we had VHS
over Betamax.
Yep. No. I mean, do we talk about this? I mean, there's fucking.
Have to.
There isn't, but we're already talking about. There's toys out there where you can control them via Wi-Fi.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's high tech now, but I'm just saying, take that stuff away and just put in like. Dating is tough now. People are like revolting against dating apps. There's like an active like revolution against dating apps, saying that it cheapens dating, that it cheapens relationships, that we need to go back to being able to kind of pick up someone at a bar or at, because for like the last 10 years we're like, don't talk to anyone ever unless you are invited or whatever. Like just no one's taking the chance anymore to like ask someone out at a coffee shop or at a convention, right? Like no one's doing it because they're scared, and it's like, no, we got to get rid of that fear and allow people to go out there and like, hey, how you doing? Whatever. Right?
Sure.
I don't know, but again,
sure, I'll sell you weed while I'm selling you weed, you write your phone number down for me. That's thanks.
Or Josh can sell his essence because apparently that's what the ladies like, and you can just rub it on, and then women will come to you. I gotta tease him a little bit about it because it's just a funny thing. It's such a fun thing.
I'm not, and you see me, I'm not arguing it because
That's true. Because
I just kind of sit here, and next thing you know.
Yeah. No, I get you.
And this is what does it. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I make fun of it. Whatever one is out there, some sort of chat bot of some sort. I don't know what it's called. It's on the Play Store.
There's a lot of chatbots.
There is,
but they're growing.
There's one that gets advertised, I think, fairly regularly on the Instagram, and I was like, all right, let's check it out let's just see, because you can't make fun of something if you don't check it out.
The ad I keep getting is for like a fidget toy that looks like a gun. Like that's the thing I get at the ads for. My ad is always like, I'm scrolling through Instagram, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, do you have ADHD? Do you fidget around? Well, here's a gun.
That's
you can play with.
That sounds fucking responsible as fuck.
It's in bright blue and white.
Well, I understand that.
It looks like a toy, but like still, it's really funny.
That's so
American, and
it's so American.
It's like it has real recoil, and it shoots plastic bullets, and it has like a clip and everything, so you can have fun of playing with this gun. And I'm like,
yeah,
thanks.
Sounds super responsible.
But I'm like, what algorithm said? You know what Francis needs?
Right.
A gun, like a toy gun. That's what that guy needs.
You know what you're missing?
Okay.
You're missing this butt plug. That's also a
I think that'd be a better ad than what I'm getting now with that.
Sure. It's a lot more entertaining.
Yeah. I want to see if it's go ahead.
But so whatever chatbot thing was out there, I downloaded it. Just like I said, you can't make fun of something if you don't check it out first.
That's
I'm sure that if I stuck with it for a week, the interactions may have been entertaining at the very least. They didn't reach that part. And it also, the app really wanted me to spend money. And
right.
I'm just, I was just dipping my toes.
AI is expensive, man.
And I wasn't willing to dip toes for an AI girlfriend on my phone. I'll wait till technology catches up and there's some sort of Lucy Lou bot.
Soon.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe it'll get too much AI. And, I won't say that now. I can't even say what I was gonna say.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh God! But it's really funny. I'll tell you later.
Oh, good. You better remember it.
I will. Okay. Let me write it down.
Yeah.
Vamp for a second.
I need to know. I need to know what this is. So the Golden Globes were this weekend. I don't want to talk about Joe Coyen and him bombing. I want to talk about how Giamatti.
Let's just we won't talk about it, but to throw him a bone because he is a fellow Filipino to you, not to me.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm fucking sticking up for him, but
he's fellow countrymen. That's true.
I don't think any of those guys get to write their own jokes.
No,
I think they're.
He blamed the.
Oh, did he? I didn't.
He blamed the writers. Yeah.
Oh, good. He should have. I remember there was. I can't think of his name, but there was a comedian on one of those roast, Comedy Central roast things, and he went up there with the 3x5 cards they gave him backstage, and he said, "These are supposed."
McDonald?
Yes. I was like, "Damn it, you'll remember if I give enough detail." Norm Macdonald went up there, and he's like, "They handed me these backstage. They said that they're funny. Let's try them out." and he deadpanned everything because that's Norm Macdonald. But
That's Norm.
yeah, I think that's probably how Joe Coy went. But go on.
So yeah, and I'll just tell you that the two jokes that I guess really, really bombed was the Barbie having big boobs was a joke that no one liked, and the Taylor Swift is everywhere joke that she didn't like. So
Who
those are
cares
the
what
two
she
big-
does and doesn't like?
the Swifties tried to cancel him for his Swiftie humor. Anyway, Paul Giamatti won for something. I forget what he won. He won a Golden Globe. He went to. Did you hear about this?
I saw the picture on Twitter.
Yeah, he went to In-N-Out
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
ate with the globe on the table and just ate
in a tuxedo.
In a tuxedo,
Which should be, he should get an award for that period for not spilling anything on his tuxedo. That In-N-Out is not a clean fast food joint.
No, it does get all.
That's
over
a messy sandwich right there.
It is. But I just love. I don't know. I don't know why. I really kind of because it's been getting a lot of weird. In-N-Out gets a lot of weird hate every once in a while as being overrated, or even though there's 18-hour lines at different. Every time it opens in a state, it takes days to get to the front of the line to eat a burger at In-N-Out. So take that for what you will. But I just love that this actor who could have gone anywhere could have had the food delivered.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause he's a millionaire, and he's just like, I'm gonna go to In-N-Out. He could get myself a double with some animal fries and I don't know, eat a burger while I stare at my new Golden Globe.
After all those mutual masturbation for 3 hours or however long that show goes for,
Yeah.
I would want to be around
Regular people.
people as well after all that autofellatio was happening.
Yeah, it's a weird, and they get drunk at the Golden Globes, so there's a lot of drinking involved in the Golden Globes. So he probably just needed something to soak up all of that, whatever he was all that champagne he was drinking. It's like, man, I gotta soak this up with some burgers and some fries.
I mean,
that used as sunflower oil.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go and get 2 burgers.
Oh, that's true. You get the burger.
Just be a glutton. Just get a double and a fucking regular.
Yeah, I've done that. I have definitely done that, and I'm like, why don't I always do this? Because the fries are okay, but I mean, you're here for the burger.
Yeah,
just get the burger twice. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. But I'm an American, and I fucking go overboard with my food sometimes. So,
I can't argue that. That's some logic I can't argue.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta go get yourself something tasty, and you'll eat spaghetti and chili all week just so you can go someplace on the weekend with your favorite person to get something tasty.
I can't argue that. And I just want to. I can't argue another thing, and I just want to thank you for being a champion of this film. But I did recently watch Godzilla -1 over the weekend.
And what did you think?
Okay, so the theater was small, but sold out. So it was sold out to the brim. Every seat was taken to watch this movie. It was amazing.
Now that you have seen it, and now that it's been out there, and hopefully people have seen it, but not a spoiler by any means. But the only thing I didn't really totally dig about the whole movie was his spine's coming out of his back in the charge up.
Yeah, like a visual cue for the atomic breath. Yeah.
The atomic breath itself was probably the coolest I've ever seen, as far as if you're gonna call it atomic breath.
Yeah,
it looked like an atomic bomb went off.
No one ever did that before. I'm sure that's the first time I've seen it do that.
Oh yeah,
right?
For sure.
That was amazing.
The closest thing to it would be in Shin Godzilla. When it goes above that, where he has a whole different beam that comes out of his mouth, but it's an evolution of the atomic breath. You see it all happening basically at once. It's different take on it, but that's the only gripe I had of the movie. And it's such a tiny thing. It's not even, that's why I didn't bring it up three weeks ago, a month ago when I saw it. Because it's just a little, did we really need that?
My biggest gripe was the ending, because I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I mean, it's so cheesy though. When somebody gets hurt, they get covered in like really bright white bandages. You don't see any blood on it. You don't see any dirt. It's just bright white bandages. So this movie is very cheesy, but also very emotional and very.
It is.
Oh man, I was feeling it for these characters, which I've never done before in a Godzilla movie.
Exactly. This is the first Godzilla movie in the 70 years of Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
And I've seen almost all of them where I've given a shit about the human component of the movie.
Yeah.
This is the only movie where I was like, oh, I kind of feel for these people. I feel for the guy. Every death in this movie, he thinks is his fucking fault. It kind of is.
Yeah.
It is and it isn't,
Yeah, it kind of is. A little bit, sort of.
Yeah, not that. I with the super still not spoiling anything. We're talking about it. We're not spoiling. But if he had did the thing he was supposed to do in the first 10 minutes of the movie, he would have been dead and the movie would have been over.
True.
So
well, it would have been over. You would have technically followed someone else, I guess.
Sure.
But who would you want to follow? You want to follow this guy.
Yeah.
No, I think this is gonna sound silly, but I think my favorite thing about the movie is that Godzilla moves so slow. Every movement Godzilla makes is an effort, and it's like, oh, you get a sense of scale and he has like. It's like thick, like his bottom half is so thick. Like he is the thickest like kaiju I've ever seen. He's just got like these fat legs and these fat thighs, and I'm just like, Godzilla. Those are birthing hips, Godzilla. Birthing hips.
Did you notice like how his hands were positioned and
Always
basically
on their side? Yeah.
Basically didn't move at all.
Nope. Well, it moved when he. Not when he growls, when he screams. His arms move down,
right?
But most of the time they're up on his side, like Tyrannosaurus arms.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of just stay at his side.
When you get around to seeing Shin Godzilla, it's the same thing. Like Shin Godzilla's hands are in one fixed position for the whole movie.
Yeah, because when you saw, there's the trailer for the new Empire or whatever, the new Godzilla King Kong movie.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla moves like a person in that movie. Like they're like nimble.
And
around and like.
I'm expecting one of the two of them to cut a promo on whoever the fuck they're fighting in this next movie. Exactly. That's gonna be one of the trailers. Is just one of the Kong or Godzilla just cutting a mean fucking promo. Maybe we'll get like the handshake, the herd around the world or something.
Something, yeah.
The powers collide. I'm trying to think of every wrestling thing I can think of.
The fact that that he moves like a person in that movie versus in minus one, where he moves like just lumbers. Everything is a lumbering. Like it takes effort to move. Was pretty impressive. But yeah,
Americans just can't do Godzilla right. I'm sorry. We have to turn everything into a fucking action star.
Yeah,
and
there's action in minus one.
Sure.
Yeah,
but it's fucking Godzilla. Godzilla lumbers around. He's a gigantic irradiated lizard. He's not a human that got turned into a lizard.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So
if they fucking tag team, like for real, if I see a hand slap in this fucking Kong Godzilla thing, I'm leaving. If they do any kind of fucking let's work together fucking miming to each other, I'm getting up and I'm leaving.
That makes sense. I understand where you're coming from.
Like that is no.
I'm gonna say it though. I think like if I had seen this last year, it probably would have been the best movie I've seen in 2023. Like it's that good. I think. I mean, I've seen a lot of movies in 23, but this one I can't think of. Even the flaws are so minor. Like the flaws in this movie are so minor, and it's just like a straight up Japanese movie. Like there's a little bit of English in the middle.
Yeah, but it's it is a through and throughout a Japanese movie. The story, the fucking way it's shot, everything.
Characters.
Yeah. It's in no means was it made for an American audience.
Yet it resonates with an American audience.
Sure,
It's doing so well. It's doing so well. So anyway, I didn't want to end the podcast without bringing up I'm like, I need to know why Josh likes this movie. I know why everyone likes this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, I'm not the only one.
Yeah,
I was just there the first weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you were there. You were a believer in the beginning, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And then I get it. I 100% get it. And it's funny because I had people in the theater. I don't know if you hate this. I don't know. I kind of think it's stupid, but they clapped at the end. They applauded at the end of the movie. I know.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
It makes more.
Go ahead.
It makes more sense in your land of Hollywood land. Makes a lot more sense there because the likelihood of a motherfucker in the movie being in the theater is a lot higher than it is here in Colorado. Now, the variable that I'll throw to that is that the fucking movie's been out for a month.
Yeah.
And if who you clapping for? There ain't nobody in that movie that's in that theater. They already made their money. They're on their next fucking project.
There was still that. There was clapping.
Opening weekend, clapping in LA or New York.
Right.
Maybe Chicago, possibly Atlanta. Those are the only places where clapping is allowed on opening weekend at a movie. You're a month into the movie and you're clapping in a small house, a fucking 75-seat house, and you're clapping. You need help.
That's why I was just like, yeah, I kind of get it. Oh, yeah, right. But it shows that they really enjoyed the movie. I guess I get it. Okay, fine, you can clap. But I haven't heard clapping the movie in a long while. So the fact that they clapped at this movie, I was like, oh, I haven't seen that. Even for like big tentpole films, I haven't seen that in like a couple years. So to see clapping for us, kind of this really small, essentially like figuratively small movie, like, oh, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, anyway. So
I hoot and hollered and clapped when I saw Toho at the beginning. Then I was like, oh yes, I'm in for a real Godzilla movie.
Well, I was really surprised.
New Orleans, I guess.
Enix,
Go ahead.
New Orleans as well, yes. Can't forget Louisiana. No, Square Enix, the video game maker, they had a part in this movie. I think they created the monster. I think they did digital effects for the monster for Godzilla. But I'm like, Square Enix? Oh, that's cool. Like,
I gotta be honest. I didn't stick around for the credits at all. It's a Godzilla flick. There's no scene afters in a Godzilla, and if there is, it's him roaring. So
I don't know why I stayed for the credits either, because I was like, there's nothing going on. But I think it was just people were slow to leave, so I was like, I need to wait for
there's only like fucking 6 people in the theater I went and saw it at.
Oh yeah, I said, mine was sold out.
Which is great. Like I said, it's been out for a month, and people are still packing a house. That's see. Okay, let's try to remember this. His movie's been out for a month. You just went to a smaller house, but it was sold out.
Yes.
When Kong and Godzilla have their fucking tag team match in a couple months.
Yeah.
Let's not go see the movie until a month afterward. and then let's see how full the house is then. And then I can tell you right now, it's not going to be full at all. It may not even be there for a month because Americans don't know how to make Godzilla movie.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think it'll be there for a month anyway, so I don't think you have much to worry about.
No, that's what I mean. At the end of the day, right? I know what I was setting myself up for there, but
I feel like Toho shot whoever makes. I think Sony makes Godzilla, but whatever company makes Godzilla, they shot him in the foot by making -1 because that's what you have to live up to is that movie, which has much less Godzilla, a lot more people. It's a 2-hour plus movie, and you see Godzilla maybe for half an hour. The other hour and a half are people.
Yeah,
you know, and even then, the half hour of Godzilla is not always just Godzilla. Like you just see like the idea of Godzilla, right? Like, oh, it's it's the devastation, or oh, it's the after effects of the atomic breath, or oh, it's, like that. So anyway,
right. That's how you do it.
So yeah, I'm sorry I had to gush. I had to gush about this movie because I really, really enjoyed it. Like I really liked it a lot.
There's no reason to apologize for something that you enjoyed.
Yeah, but
it's not the traditional, movie that's out there, right? Like I just said, I mean, it's a straight up Japanese movie, but they know what they're doing, and they know what that IP, that creation, that fucking monster, it works with Japanese lore.
Yes, yeah.
The Americans look at it like, well, let's give it human-like movement because Kong is a gorilla, and that's kind of like a human. So this lizard thing's got to move like a human as well.
And let's put in a bunch of human characters we care nothing about.
Well, I mean, if you don't have any human characters in a movie, you have nothing to... Or any likable or relatable characters, then you just have nothing,
But Toho was able to make you like the people, the humans, like even like the like there's a scientist, there's a ship captain, there's a kid. They could just call him Kid, and you're just like, yeah, I care about all these characters. I mean, like not as much as obviously the main guy, but like. Yeah. Like, I care what happens to them. Like, I don't want them to die, or I don't want to see them,
Wait till you see Shin. And Shin Godzilla, 90% of the movie is exposition.
Well, yeah. Shin has a lot to live up to.
Shin, yeah. But, I mean, like, it's a lot of talking, a lot of meetings, and a lot of meetings about meetings, and meetings that happen in different locations, and talking, and more meetings. And then there's like 20 minutes of Godzilla through the whole movie. But those 20 minutes are impactful as hell. Oh. Just like in -1, everybody fucking dies. Same thing in Shin. Everybody fucking dies. And you're just like, you're left with like 3 people. You're like, fuck, I hope they live.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess now you have a reason to go to Japan and visit Godzilla
Land. Yeah. Well, I mean, I have tons of reasons to go. Right. There is the want and the need are pretty fucking equal on the trip to Japan. It's the financial part that is really keeping me from going at this point. Because if I'm gonna go, I want to, just like with everything else, Francis, I want to go. I want to experience it. I don't want to go and be like, I don't know if we can do that. No, I want to go and be like, let's do it.
Yeah.
I want to get in a situation where I've got a hotel in one city and like, oh, I have friends in this city. Let's go over there. Oh, fuck, I can't get back to the city I have a hotel in. Well, I might as well get a fucking a capsule hotel for the night. that costs $7 or whatever.
Did you remember my scenario of having to do just that?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Okay.
But
I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds very familiar.
But you handled it. I want that. I want to put myself in that situation and just be like, yeah, sucks that I'm paying for a hotel I'm not staying in right now. But you know what? I'm on an adventure.
Like adventure time. Yeah.
Look at all the stuff we bought. I'm just gonna go ahead and ship it back.
That's my biggest regret. That was my biggest regret, is that I didn't think ahead. I should have brought. Okay, so people literally bring empty suitcases with them to Japan because it's going to fill up. Mm-hmm. They're just going to fill up that empty suitcase. I'm like, I want to pack light. I'll just bring a backpack. Dumbest thing ever, because I needed at least one bag to put like all the stuff in. I mean, I was able to bring back some souvenirs, but man, I regret it. Next time, whenever that next time is, there's going to just be an empty suitcase ready to go for all the stuff.
I'm going to go. I'll probably go one above you. I'll probably buy a suitcase while I'm there and just ship the motherfucker back.
Yeah.
Or be like, here's my luggage, and it's just all Transformers.
I was going to say, way too expensive to ship back. Probably
better. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Just bring it on the plane.
Just check it.
Yeah, get all your. Oh man. Anyway, I'm excited to bring somebody next. I'm excited to go back with somebody, because I think that was a thing I regret was like, man, I have no one to get excited over like this store that I'm in that has just figurines of like old cartoons, of old American cartoons. Like it's just figurines everywhere. Like this is the coolest store ever, and it's cheap. Like you could buy them for like $20, and,
right?
Or whatever. It's like, this sucks. Like there's just so many things there. I was like, man, I have no one to share this with. I wish I had someone with me.
Which is why I hate going and doing anything by myself.
Yeah,
I mean, like
do anything
even going to a movie by myself. There's a sense of there's a sense of holy shit, that was awesome that we just saw. I have no one to talk to this about. And I'm just gonna go home and talk to people on the internet, I guess, about it.
Yeah.
Like Comic-Cons by myself are one of the most sad and depressing things in the world to me, because everybody there is having a great time, and I'm there by myself, bored because I have nobody to interact with, or like how you and I, when we're at a show, we push each other to fucking whatever it is, take pictures or fucking, work the encouragement to go say something to fucking celebrity XYZ, whatever. When you're there by yourself, you're like, all right, well, fuck, saw everything there is to see here. All right, well, I'm leaving. Nothing's I've seen it all here. It's, okay. Or whatever. Like doing anything, going to a concert by yourself, maybe there's some benefits to that. But if you get all super hyped and you have no one to share that with other than the randos that are around you, I don't know.
I'm with you.
That's
exactly the way I feel.
There's a sense of sharing things with people, regardless of your relationship with them, that makes things more enjoyable.
Like you guys here on the
nice.
Having a chat room at all is always fun. So we thank you for being in our kind of extra large shows nowadays, because we have time now.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of time. We definitely got a lot of time. That's why I'm not
thank everyone for that.
That's why I'm not like rushing to get out of here by any means right now. But we'll end it up with something that I saw last week. The internet, everybody saw it pretty much last weekend. Love you guys and being a part of this. Oh, thank you, Rugged, because that means a lot. You're an awesome dude. You're an awesome dude.
Yeah.
And it sucks that there is these 3,000 miles in between us, or whatever it is, 2,500 miles, whatever it is.
Right, sure.
Whatever it is, it sucks that's there, and it's not easy to just be like, oh, let's go fucking hang out in Philly, you know, or let's go jump the river and go hang out in Jersey, or whatever. It just sucks, and it's nothing different than anybody else in any other relationship or friendship that's across countries or cities and states or whatever, right? But it would be nice if it was easier to just be like, all right, let's go, Francis, let's just surprise our East Coast crew and just hope somebody will come pick us up. And, cons aren't the same without us. Well, of course they're not. I mean,
of course. No, we just, again, we'll figure it out. We have,
there are avenues.
We have I's to dot and T's to cross first before we can really move on to the next phase. But anyway,
we need our East Coast agent friend to just shoehorn us.
I'm on it.
Like shoehorn us into something, even if it's like super awkward. We can make it work.
I've talked to her about it. I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Good. So the last thing I saw, like I said earlier, it blew up on the internets. It blew up on my local news channel. Was even talking about it. But a 13-year-old kid was playing the old NES Tetris and reached what is called the kill screen, where the game has run out of memory, run out of programming, because you played it for so long. You have such a high score. Never has this been accomplished in the 30-something odd years that Tetris has been around on the NES.
No.
What?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
I thought you're like, no.
No, it hasn't been. No. It hasn't.
So this 13-year-old kid, whether he was streaming it or just recording himself and put the video out there to the world, reached.
I don't know, actually. Good question.
But he reached the kill screen. No one's ever done this. He freaked out. Rightfully so. Anybody would, especially reaching to something that nobody thought was even part of the game. Well, this newsreader person in England land, I believe it's in England land. It might be in Australian land, but I'm pretty sure it's England land because it's Sky News. I'm pretty sure Sky is
either Australian or English. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know. I do know it was Sky News, so someone else can do the research. But she's a newsreader, and it was the fluff thing at the end of the newscast. As every newscast has a fluff piece, whatever, a puff piece, fluff piece, whatever. The dancing penguin or the fucking cat wearing the tuxedo, whatever. This was that piece. And she reads it off. They had the little video component with it. And she ends it after she reads it, puts her sheet down that has the words she's supposed to read on it. And then it says something to the effect of, as a mother, I wouldn't call this an accomplishment, and I would encourage you to go outside. It's nothing to be this is nothing to be proud of. It's just a video game. And to that, I say to that lady, kiss everybody's ass, including your own.
Yeah.
Your job is to read the fucking news, not to give opinions. Read the fucking news. Unless you have a platform like some people out there do, where their job is to read the news and then put their little piece of paper down and then give their possibly shitty opinion about whatever they just read while they deadpan and look straight into the camera, break the fourth wall and everything. That's their platform, and that's what they're paid to do. But if you're just a newscaster, say like that, your local news, whatever your local news is, and you read the thing and then you throw out your opinion, shut the fuck up. Like, your job's to read the news, not give your fucking opinion.
Especially, I mean, a lot of people are calling it old-fashioned, and what this kid did was considered impossible for a human to do, because the movements required are so fast and so precise that you're like, no one has the ability to move like that. And then they found like techniques to hold the controller and stuff so that you can play in a way that like robots play. And so his accomplishment is rightfully a big deal. Like, it makes sense.
I'd get the kid on here if I was willing to fucking put kids on a fucking platform, but I ain't willing to do that. But I would.
Get the other, the second guy. Second guy's an adult.
Okay, but no one gives a shit about the second guy.
Yeah, true. But yeah, this kid, so what he accomplished, which takes hours too, by the way, is not just like this took hours upon hours to accomplish. But yeah, I mean, the Sky News reader, again, outdated. I think there's still a segment of the population that still looks at video games as kind of like a waste of time, even though people are making so much money just playing video games for an audience.
But it just shows how fucking just out of touch some people are.
Well, yeah.
I just kind of thought that fucking we got rid of all the 80s fucking people. But you know what I'm saying? Like that mentality, like it's just, I'm all hot over here. It's like, I'm all sweaty and shit. Like, I don't know. It really irked me because this kid, like, lady, what have you fucking, like, you read the fucking news. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, she doesn't understand that he literally pulled off what was considered impossible.
Right.
Like the word impossible is in there.
I mean, I think even if it's a fucking little fluff piece at the end of your thing, maybe you should get a little educated about the importance of it, regardless of your opinion or the importance of your life.
Right.
It's important to somebody. And it's a 13-year-old kid doing something that fucking, what's your 13-year-old kid doing, lady?
Well, the fact that it wasn't just like, oh, well, obviously, even if she had no idea what was going on, the fact that it made the news at all means that it's something of import, right? Like, it's not just a throwaway thing. Like, people care about it enough to want to hear about this. Otherwise, why talk about it on the news, right? You know, why talk about it at all if it's just a thing that nobody cares about? But people care about it. And she should have been like, okay, people care about this. Whatever she does, reading the news, whatever. But her response should have been like, go outside because that's better than sitting inside and playing video games. Should have been like, oh, well, this is obviously a big deal to somebody. We're talking.
I may not understand it. I may not think it's as big of a deal, but he accomplished something that was theoretically impossible to do. You gotta throw credit where credit is due.
Where credit is due. Yeah. Good. It should have just been good job. You know, that's all.
Can we find the fucking program this is on? Is it Sky News with fucking newscaster and her fucking shitty opinions, or is it just Sky News?
It's Sky News.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, yeah, it's
like when you tune into that dude, the fucking, I don't think he has a show anymore. The fucking Crazy Money guy.
Oh yeah.
Right. You tune into that.
The guy who throws stuff at the camera.
Right. Like. I don't know. There was a point I was getting to. I fucking had a point. I thought I had a point, but it was bullshit because I can't think of what it was.
Look, all I know is that this kid is crazy because he beat the game Elden Ring using a DSLR camera as a controller. So. Well,
that means he got really good.
Yes. No, he got very good. He's very good. Anyway.
Like I said, if I was willing to fucking put kids on this platform, I would, but I'm not. So, like, we can theoretically say I would give that kid all the praise in the world. I wouldn't give him anything outside of that because I ain't got nothing to offer. But, you know, like that, I don't know. What would be impressive to this lady? Fucking crocheting a hat really fast or something? I don't know.
No.
I'm just, it really irked me, I guess. And I said, I'm all hot and sweaty over here.
No, I get it. I mean, she's saying stuff that the vast majority of people, again, she got a lot of backlash for it. So, like, the vast majority of people, even who probably weren't gamers, are just like, why would you diss a kid who, like, did
at
something?
the end of the
Like,
day?
why would be your, yeah, like, why would you just do that? So I think,
and especially in this day and age where everything you say can be fucking recorded and put out there on the internet for everybody to fucking find, right? And that kid, if you know, within fucking 48 hours of that thing getting posted, that kid got bombarded with shit.
Yeah.
You know, and remixes and everything else that they put on the fucking TikToks and everything else, along with all the positivity.
Yeah.
You know, it's
very little negative, a lot of positive for the kids.
I hope it
think this is
was
the one
mostly
negative.
all positive, because that's not even fucking fraud ass Billy Mitchell got to the end of fucking Tetris.
I mean, yeah.
That's another episode.
He didn't. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. Yeah, that kid. Good on you.
Big time.
His name. I should give his name because he was Nicholas, aka Nico Hart, on Twitch.
Go give him a follow. Fuck, I might even give him a follow.
Yeah, he does different game challenges. So, that's his. Wait a minute, is that his character? No, wait. Taking on seemingly impossible challenges is an online. Maybe it's not. His name is Willis Gibson, from Oklahoma. That's his real name, I guess. I don't know if that's his character or if that's his Twitch
Alias,
name.
Yeah. Well, either way,
So there you
good
go.
on him.
Yeah, good on him.
Well, that's everything.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Give you extra juice because I got all this extra time. Holy shit! It's 10 o'clock. All right. Well, Francis, where can everybody find you on the internet if they want to stalk you or see what else you're up to?
Super Geeked Up tomorrow at supergeekedup.com, a live improv show. Did last episode with an author. Probably can do another author again this week.
Oh,
a lot of authors.
Is that allowed on the internet? Doing people
on YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube.
You know, yeah, sort of.
Okay.
Implied
nudity.
Implied. Well, they backed off the Twitch did that recently. Backed off the implied nudity stuff too, which is so funny. At AKA the other guy on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Blue Sky, everything. That's at it. That's my brand. Brand, one name, all places.
Well, what's not one name is all my shit.
What?
Because I didn't think of that back when I started all the social media stuff. That, and also I think some stuff was taken. But you can find me at 303_ninja on the Instagram. You can find me at 303 ninja on the Instagram.
Twitter.
303_ninja on the Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it.
Nobody calls it X. No.
Yeah, nobody's going to. POI Podcast or the POI Podcast for everything you want to follow for us. Again, there was no... Look, the name used to be the Points of Interest Podcast Network. And before that, it was the Easily Entertained Podcast. So, I mean, like, synergy isn't a thing. It's not something I do. But you can call us. Voicemail, text, call into the show. Talk with us. It'd be fun. 314-764-7631. Email thepoipodcast@gmail.com. That's basically everything. We'll be back next week. We did Monday last week because I had something to do on Tuesday. But we're doing Tuesdays. Tuesdays are our thing. We'll be back. We'll be back next week. The song's ending, so I was just waiting for that to happen. We're out of here. Bye.